as you were talking just now about, the value that you got from essentially putting yourself in situations that you may not have been sure how you want to come out of, but it's like, all right, I'm gonna put myself out there anyway. And you discover something about yourself. You learn more about yourself. And, in business, especially online business, people try to learn the business. We find ourselves sometimes like going from one type of training or one type of course or buying in from one different program to the next. But then I heard one of my mentors say one day, man, the secret that nobody is going to tell you that's trying to sell you stuff is that the stuff that you don't know, you're going to learn in the doing.
That's right.
You're going to learn it in the doing. So you can only learn so much by reading and studying. You know what I mean? But after a while, you got to actually go and do it. And sometimes we don't do it because we feel like we don't know enough. But the reason you don't know enough is because you ain't took enough action. You ain't put yourself out there yet and discovered that you can beat this bully up. You haven't discovered that about yourself yet because you haven't put yourself out there like that. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago from a mentor. He said there's 4 types of knowledge. There's learn knowledge, which is what we do in school. We're told something, we take notes, right? There's activity knowledge. That's kind of like when, I forgot what movie it was. I think it was Bloodsport with Van Damme, where Van Damme breaks a brick and then the Asian guy tells him, brick don't hit back, right? So it's true. The way that you're going to learn how to ride a bike is not somebody telling you how to ride a bike. That's learn knowledge. The way you learn how to ride a bike is activity knowledge, right?
Absolutely.
There's modeling knowledge where you model somebody else, and then there's teaching knowledge. You learn different ways. So like you said, a lot of the things you're going to learn when you're in the trenches doing the stuff, which is the activity knowledge, right? So yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Absolutely. So talk to me about, because it sounded like you was going in this direction a second ago, with your fighting and stuff that you just did. And I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer, man. But I mean, I could have a conversation with you for the next 48 hours. I honestly could. Our stories are closely related. I have not had the success that you've had, but I have been on the journey, man. Absolutely. Tell me about didn't you have an MMA fight?
No, not an MMA fight. No, I kickboxing fights, yeah, but not MMA. I wanted to for a while, for a hot second. Then I realized that's a lot to learn, bro. You know what I mean? Like I like stand up, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. And I trained at an MMA gym, and there's a guy named Antonio McKee, whose son is crushing it right now in Bellator MMA. He's about to be the champion. He's undefeated. His son. So Antonio McKee in 2006, I started training at his gym, and I used to be sparring. I used to spar with him, just stand up, right? But right there, I realized when I started training with dudes that were very good on the ground, wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I realized this is like, I really have to immerse myself in this. And I don't want to do it just to be mediocre, right? Not only that, now don't get me wrong. If the money was right, I probably would have pursued it. But if the money isn't right, I had to take care of my mom, right? Before I had a family, right? I had to put the priorities. Like, this is something I want to do for me, maybe for my ego, right? But I had already won a world title in karate and fought in kickboxing. I realized this is not going to pay the bills. I got to figure out, you know what I mean, how to make things happen and stuff. So no, never had an MMA fight.
I got you. Talk to me just a little bit about retiring your mom, man. You said before you had some success in business, and I got it when you said you were spending money as fast as you made it. I got it because I've been through that before as well, right? At the end of the year, you look at the tax guy, you owe taxes. It's like, I ain't saved the money. I didn't put it up. You know what I mean? So I've definitely been down that road. Talk to me just a little bit about, that, man, retiring your mom, coming back financially, what you did differently with as far as, with your checks when you were getting them the second time around as opposed to first time around. Talk to me a little bit about that, because that's important too. I mean, I see a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people. I know a lot of people that were beasts in the field, but suck when it came to handling money. So.
Well, it's also a lack of mentorship and coaches, right? So I had coaches that would teach me. At the time, I made a lot of money in real estate. That's when I lost everything. I didn't save anything. And I was learning how to sell more real estate, how to be a better salesperson, how to be driven. But that was it. So like I'm a firm believer in coaches, right? And so like part of what I do is now, if I have the time, I coach people on a business level. I coach companies on network marketing, creating the complex and their training. And so I realized in sports, you have coaches, Michael Jordan, Kobe, right? LeBron, they all have coaches, right? And these are the highest level, and then they invest in themselves, right? They got people
Absolutely.
helping with the finances. And so when I was in real estate and I made a lot of money, but I lost everything, I didn't save any money, and this is very typical of also back then there wasn't a podcast like this, right? Like I feel like if there was podcasts and, things like that, I for sure would be a fan of them. And I learned some of these things, but I never really had any. Now, I just made a post yesterday. You have to be ignorant on purpose
I
nowadays.
saw it. And you're 100% right. I saw that post.
Yeah, man, because we're all the equivalent of a genius nowadays thanks to Google and the internet. But people are always short. It's also, you could be the equivalent of an idiot, right? Because you're just looking at a bunch of negative things or just funny stuff. There's a quote that says, rich people educate themselves, poor people entertain themselves. And most people, they use the internet and social media to entertain themselves. So to me, it was one of those things where I didn't save up the money. But I made a comeback within a year. I started making six figures again. I got the job selling credit repair. It was a commission-based job, so I made my own hours. But I got back into network marketing, and I just went to town. I just started working my tail off. And so that year was a year that I went out to my mom. My mom used to work for a rich lady in Beverly Hills. She used to clean her house. The lady would literally, my mom would tell me that when the lady was there, she would literally follow her around and inspect everything that my mom was cleaning, right? And she wouldn't give her any extra money. The lady was very cheap. And my mom would get back tired. It was like from our house to Beverly Hills, bro, with traffic, it's about 2 hours, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes with traffic, which there's always traffic in LA. And so she'd get back exhausted. And I remember feeling like less of a man. Like, how in the world am I 25, 26 years old and I can't help out my mom? That's how I used to feel, right? And so for a while I helped her out, and then things got bad and whatnot. And so then I made a decision. The first thing I'm gonna do before I get a fancy car and stuff like that, I'm gonna retire my mom. And that was already my goal since 18. But this time I made a decision that's gonna happen before I get my Corvette, right? I already had one Corvette, then I wanted, that's the car that I lost when I lost everything. So I said, I'm gonna give me another Corvette, but before I get another Corvette, I'm gonna retire my mom. So what happens is one day I go to my mom and I said, hey mom, you don't have to go to work tomorrow. And matter of fact, you don't have to go to work ever again. Welcome to the rest of your life, right? In Spanish. And she said, what do you mean, son? I said, yeah, that's it. Here, I'm going to give you the money that you need. I'm going to take care of you. That's it. I'm going to go out there and make it happen. I've figured something out about how to build sales organizations, how to sell, how to be disciplined, how to build leverage, personal development. And I have many ways of making money, but my business was booming. And I just made a decision, right? So that was, about 10 years ago that I retired my mom. And that was a very, very happy day. You know what I mean? Until this day, my mom doesn't work. Over the last 2 years, I lost a lot of money though. I lost, in the crypto boom, I lost over $1 million, bro. It was tough. I lost a huge, not a huge, but a big residual income from a network marketing company. That's a whole long story in itself. So nevertheless, though, I maintained my mom's, because here's the deal. I had the biggest nest egg I've ever had. I had a nice income stream from a couple different places. All of that, just forget COVID. It was before COVID happened. All of it hit the fan. So my wife and I said, my wife has been in the ADT home security business for a long time. And I said, I'm going to get in and learn the ADT business. I'm going to go. So I started, last year, I started door knocking again, bro. Selling alarms door to door. I had network marketing companies offer me $12,000, $15,000, up to $20,000 per month guaranteed, bro. I said, no, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to build my own company. I'm not going to rely on a company, right? And I'm not knocking MLM. I'm simply letting you know. I said, I'm going to do that through ADT. I'm going to build a dealer, but my own way. I'm going to recruit people and give them the opportunity to recruit other people and make overhead income. So I hit the field, bro. But I hit the field at a worse time, though. Because when I started hitting the field, it got dark by 5 o'clock, bro. Right? So that sucks when you're door knocking. That sucks, right? Like now it gets dark by like 7:30 in California. But when I started like 6 months ago, it got dark by 5 o'clock. So now we're knocking on doors, and nowadays people are more skeptical. They don't open the door, especially if it's dark. And then, you know, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm a fairly tall Mexican dude, right? Kind of big. So they kind of looked at me kind of like, and I got short hair, right, and a gold tee, you know, so that people don't trust that much. But nevertheless, I said, the cool thing about knowing sales is that you can write your own check. If you know how to sell, you can go out there and make it happen, man.
Yeah. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I got out of Kirby back in about, I think around 11, 12. So I've been out for a few years now.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I think, you know, it's been difficult finding another opportunity that offered me the opportunity that I feel like that business offered me. You know what I mean? It was a product that I felt like I could definitely believe in.
How many years
Did I sell Kirby's?
Yeah.
I sold for myself or for someone else for probably about 3 years, and I got my own distributorship and started training salespeople. And I was out there for probably about 10 or 12 years in my own office. But I mean, like I said, my story was very similar to yours. As I was making money, once I got in my own office, you know, I wasn't really focused on saving money. I didn't really know what to do with it. And in sales, you don't. And my thing has always been, if you're doing good in sales, you probably don't get out. If you get out, it's probably because your attitude got off track. And if you get out because your attitude got off track, you're probably leaving with no money. Right. So that was, you know what I mean? That was kind of the story when I got out, man. But still to this day, I would recommend that business or sales to anybody because of all of the stuff you've been talking about, the thick skin that it helps you develop, being able to learn how to sell, negotiate, being able to understand the sales process, training sales people, you know, just learning all of the different aspects of how that whole process works, you know, as an employee or even as a self-employed person, you know, we're limited to how much we can make by the amount of hours in a day. So I had a friend of mine, matter of fact, I had a friend of mine I was talking to about Kirby a couple of months ago, actually. And he was like, man, if I could get the Kirby at a good cost, I would go back into the business. Meaning, you know, they sell for a couple thousand, the lower you can get them for at a wholesale price to sell it for. And he was like, man, if somebody would give me a distributor cost on one and just let me go sell personals, I'd get back in the business. And I'm like, bro, you're missing the point though. Because I don't care how many Kirby's you can sell, your commission, that's a nice commission, but it's only you.
Right.
You're leaving out part of the equation if you don't have the ability to make money and duplicate yourself. Yes, that's the real benefit in sales. That's where sales give you the ability to literally manipulate time. Because now you're not limited by how many hours in a day, you're limited by how many times you can duplicate yourself.
Right.
A whole different game. So absolutely, man.